Good morning, listener, and Happy New Year, Dom. How you doing today?
Pretty good. Kind of tired. I don't know why.
Well, it's the New Year. I mean, like, were you up until 12 last night?
No, I fell asleep. I played a little bit of some things we'll talk about, and watched. I don't know if you're familiar with the Game Chasers, but it's a YouTube channel, and they hunt retro. They just look for video games. So they go to yard sales, conventions, flea markets, and just find crazy good deals. So I was watching some of that. I was actually organizing some of my games too, seeing what I didn't have, what I wanted to get rid of, and what I had. And then fell asleep at 12:30. I would have fell asleep earlier, but I had to stay up because my fiance wanted me to watch the ball drop. So, but I would probably been asleep at 11:30. But yeah, it wasn't really doing much. I don't do much for New Year's anyway. And it's always funny because I'll wake up early and go see the world, and everyone's still in sleep mode, and I'm like, oh yeah, well, sorry, I wasn't out drinking.
All right.
What about you?
Well, first, I was expecting, not quite that long of an introduction, but this is if you're a listener that's been following us for a while, this is going to be a slightly off kilter sort of episode. We're not doing kind of news right now. The industry kind of seemed to have taken a bit of a break during the holiday, so we're doing a bit of more of an update podcast today. We're gonna just talk about our holidays, maybe go over some of the pickups we got, and we're gonna talk about our plans for the year. But I kind of had a same old thing going on last night. Is just my family was all around, so when the house is full of people, it's kind of hard to go to sleep. But I got my PS5 yesterday, so so there was plenty of reason for me to stay up anyway, regardless. So I got my PS5 all hooked up, and I was playing through that, and I had to get one new platinum in before the end of the year, so went ahead and platinumed Astra's Playroom yesterday.
I got a PS5 during our hiatus. And I also platinumed Astro's Playroom, which I think that game is freaking awesome.
So while we're on there, what are your overall opinions on it? What do you think about the game?
I think it's good. It's really, really good. It's the perfect free little game. It shows off the dual senses, what the dual sense is capable of. But I liked it. It was a good, fun, charming little platformer. It literally takes you 3 hours to do 100% the game. The only thing that's unfortunate, as personally, I would have really liked a retail release of it, like
a fuller game, totally. a 20 hour experience game.
I really, really liked that game. Even when I only played it in short bursts here and there to finish it, and then my last hurrah, I played it for an hour and did everything I needed to do. But it was awesome. There's also a lot of nostalgia intertwined with that. If you see the bots that have cameras, that's them recording a game. So anytime you see one of those bots, they're for instance in Memory Meadow, when you go up and it starts raining and you have that gust of wind that's blowing you to the side. My favorite one, Rain.
Yeah, Heavy
Rain, and
it took me a second. I was actually going back through trying to finish the platinum, and I was reading the platinum, so I was just that's what that's supposed to be. Heavy Rain. That's clever what you did there.
Yeah, and it's you just see his eyes, he just looks so depressed, and there's the little paper boat, and you're just
I didn't even see the boat. I just saw the bus station. I guess I didn't pick up on that at all.
It's literally littered with stuff and I love seeing I like the in one of them there was the Resident Evil 1 that I really liked, where it actually had the door, and there was was it Jill? It might have been Jill. I don't remember who.
Oh yeah, there was a scientist.
And
and they were
and then the Buster Sword, seeing the Buster Sword, and
I'm not a big
CPU Speedway, I think that was, or something.
Oh no, it was
SSD
Speedway.
that like it was just littered with that stuff.
Yeah,
Or
like
Aloy's was honestly the weakest.
Yeah,
She
I was
in the
kind of
middle.
disappointed. I went to like again. I was looking at the trophy list trying to get through it, and like I saw that like ready for the proving was in GPU jungle. I was just like, I gotta go to GPU jungle next at that point. But
Did you see Kratos?
yeah,
And yeah, that one I did like that one on the boat. And you actually, if you hit him, he actually makes like a he's actually like pretty upset.
oh, I didn't try hitting him at all. But like, yeah, it's like fun little moments. It's just like like Aloy was just kind of like standing there like shooting at a rabbit, and I was just like, oh, that makes me a bit sad. Oh, but like they even had like a Colossus.
Oh yeah.
That was in GPU jungle. I think it was like Ray Trace Ruins was where you saw him.
Yeah, I do remember that. All like he was way like not even not on really technically on like the actual map. I remember
but
that.
like you were talking earlier about like you have more of a lineage with PlayStation, so like you had a lot more nostalgia for these moments rather than I did.
It was especially, believe it or not, I had a lot of nostalgia with the early ones because I never owned a PS1. I had a PS2, but like growing up and watching my uncles play the PS1, like I remember vividly my uncle Brad was playing a Star Wars game on the PS1. Like I just remember we had a game room at my Mimo and Pop-Up, so we'd all like that's where the video games were played. And so I was not old enough, I guess. So they like, or it's just like little brother syndrome, like, you know, I didn't play them, so I always watched. And so I remember like the consoles they'd cycle through, and I remember I was finally able to get a PS2 and I got one from Toys R Us. But I remember the PS1. They had the PS1 at first, and I just remember like that controller and that just I just remember like seeing the like looking at it and it looking like weird to me as a kid, but like I still have those memories, and it was just cool like watching my uncles play all those games and like seeing that. I was like, wait a minute. And then obviously I've played not those games but games in the franchise, so I'm aware of them, and just seeing all that, and I was just like, whoa, it kind of like brings me back, and it makes you think. Like I was thinking that entire time, like PlayStation has always been such a integral player, and then on top of that, like they've always been driven with those like cinematic, like just extract like experiences. Like seriously, like first Resident Evil, PlayStation, where Final Fantasy took off, PlayStation, freaking Tomb Raider really took off, PlayStation. Like you think of those and you're like, yeah, they're kind of rooted in that.
I'm kind of surprised that Kingdom Hearts
wasn't in there. I was looking for one and I couldn't find it, and I was so upset because I was thinking, like, but probably Disney, because I know that's so they probably like, we're not going to go through all this licensing bullcrap just to have a subtle nod to Kingdom Hearts in this free game. But it was cool to see all that. Yeah, and even the current stuff was still cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, I had a fun time with it. I mean, like, I didn't have quite as much nostalgia going through it, but, like, I really would like to see Astro Bot become, like, its own franchise, like, make their own standalone game. I could do without, like, the jungle, without, like, the monkey or the frog sections in a full game, or, like, have those sections be, like, maybe 10%, whereas they were, like, 50% of this game, because there was 2 parts for those for every level that you were going on.
What didn't they say something at the end of the credits like we expect more from us or something like that? I remember reading that at the end. I remember at the end of the credits it was saying like team whatever. I don't remember the name of the team that was behind it, but they were like expect more from us later on. So I'm hoping we get more, and I really wish that Astrobot's rescue mission, whatever. I'm so
wasn't
like,
a VR game.
Yeah, it's only. I would freaking have like if that wasn't a VR game, I would have immediately bought it right after this. Like, all right, I'm playing that. Yeah. But yeah, it was a great game. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
You pick up anything else for the holiday?
Holidays, I got one thing that's been on my little radar for a little bit, but I wasn't gonna buy it. That was Pokemon Sword plus the DLC. I did buy that. Well, I got it for Christmas. So it's Pokemon Sword plus the expansion pass, which is all on one cartridge, by the way.
Oh, cool.
And then I got Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, which I've been wanting to play that, but once again, I was gonna like just put that on the Christmas list. Technically, I got money for Demon Souls, so I got Demon Souls, which I've been playing a little bit of, and that's pretty good. And I got for my birthday, I got Sackboy before even I had my PS5. Because I thought I was going to get a PS5, but been playing Sackboy. And nothing too really crazy other than that. Like game wise, what about you?
So, I mean, like, one of the big things I got for Christmas was I actually got an actual monitor for my own.
Yeah, and you got a 4K monitor, right?
No, I think it's a 1080p. I didn't really look too much into it. But, I mean, my TV is 4K, and I'd been using my computer as a TV monitor as well. But, like, now I have my computer set up for, like, a dual monitor setup where the TV is one screen and then my computer is the other. And like the only games I got like for the holidays was Immortals Phoenix Rising, and let me tell you, Immortals Phoenix Rising gets a lot better when you turn the volume off.
I was saying so.
It's just like because like the thing is like it's a good podcast game. I have problems with the game overall. It's not a perfect game, but like
I hate to cut you off here, but someone said I watched a video, and this is just like what you said. It's a good podcast game. Someone put it. I saw a video on YouTube, and it said, "This is a good game to play while you're doing something."
Yeah,
like
yeah, that's it. Because like there's a series on Netflix I kind of enjoy, Sabrina. It's been so long since the last season came out, I completely forgot what was going on. I just put up the last episode of Sabrina up on my computer and just like played the audio while I was playing the game, and it was just like, I enjoyed that game so much better. It's just like what I find about the dialogue for Immortals Phoenix Rising, it feels like you had two writers, each writing a different half of the conversation. Because, like it works. Like, the dialogue works together, but it feels just, like, a little disjointed. It's just, like, that's not how you talk to people. And it's just, like...
Did you feel like it was also, like it was so B-side? Like, it was, like, straight... It just felt like it was, like, straight to DVD kind of... like, it just felt like...
Yeah, like the humor wasn't really my brand. It's just like
there was
like this mission where I was rolling a pearl down a hill, and like Zeus is talking about like how the myth of Aphrodite and of her birth and everything, and like Prometheus is there. So it's like, no, Zeus, that's not how it happened. Like, that is just like, do you know how people were born? And I was just like, that whole like kind of joke just kind of went on so long, because like you're rolling this, like it takes like 10 minutes to roll this pearl down the hill, and like this whole conversation where they're having this back and forth, it's just goes on for too long. It's just like, I so don't care about what Zeus and Prometheus are doing. I just want to explore the world and just have something to do, and listen to my podcast while I'm doing it. It's like a fun, leisurely thing to do. But yeah, but the funny thing is, I'm not actually playing any PS5 games on my PS5. I picked up Control and Jedi Fallen Order, and I'm trying to play through those right now. But I did load up my PS4 copies of Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales, and switched over those save files and popped the platinums for both of those this morning as well. But that's basically all I've been playing and what I've been up to.
Yeah, other than I was playing Pikmin. What was I playing? Oh, Age of Calamity before this behemoth arrived. So yeah, it's pretty much just been Astro's Playroom. Demon Souls I've been dipping into for a little bit, which is like, it's tough. Good grief, a game's tough. And it's like, it's tough where it's like, it's a get good. Like, seriously, get good. Or like, there's no... Although, the multiplayer is kind of broken, in my opinion. Because you can have... if you're online, people can invade your world that you're in. And pretty much, if you aren't great, they'll kill you. Or you can just have a random person join you. So Tower Knight was one of the bosses that I was kind of struggling with. I really wasn't struggling with it, but you can get so you'll play after you beat the first boss. The first boss, you can go into any of the other Archstones, which like the other worlds. Mm-hmm. So I was just like jumping in a bunch of worlds, and I came back to Bolteria, which was the first world that I was in. Excuse me, and On my way up to part two, the Lord's Path, where the Tower Knight was, there was this. It was like summon a soul, which is like another player, and I was like, sure, why not? So I did, and I was like, there's no way he'll come with me into the actual like boss. There's no way. So I'm sitting there playing, and he's like he's just literally like mutilating everyone for me, and I'm just like doing the clapping hands emote like thanks, I guess. He's just like constantly destroying everyone, waiting for me to get their like drops so I can get all of their whatever like their the items that they're dropping. And then I'm like, okay, I'm about to enter the fog into the boss. I'm like, all right, well, I'll see this guy later. And he came in and he just destroyed the boss. Like, he mutilated that boss. And I was just like, oh, okay. So I was like, you're telling me, like, if I really had a tough time with this, I could just, like, go on chat or something. Be like, hey, you're really tough. Take this boss. And there was a trophy for beating that boss, and I still got it. So I was like, that's kind of strange to me. Like, you'd think they'd be like, yeah, no, I'm unfortunate. Like, we'll see you later. But no, he came in, just wrecked that boss. And then I went on my merry way, and I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, no, not too much.
I mean, that's the thing I enjoy about I think it's kind of cool about the whole Souls community, because that's kind of a key part of all of their games. It's either you do the thing where you invade someone's world, or you can go in and help someone out. So it's interesting seeing like how the community like goes against, like, there's like people that will just go in there and grief and be and do that all day, and there's people that love that challenge, and then there's like the things like that you're talking about, where like there are people just that like love the game so much they've been in the game already, and they just spend their day going in and helping other people.
Yeah, like I messaged my friend Marcus, and I was like, hey, give me the lowdown on Demon. Like, how do you get good? I was like, how does one get good at Demon Souls? He's like, you don't. I was like, good to know. All right, well, let's see how this goes.
I imagine it's just learned like muscle memory at some point. It's just like you get stomped on enough, and you'll eventually learn when to dodge.
There's patterns, but Demon Souls is the king of from what I've learned, is react, don't predict.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I always predict. So like, I just need to like react, think on the fly. Like, he's doing this, he's doing that. And I also didn't realize that, so when the first character, like the class you choose really, really plays a big role into how the beginning of the game plays out. And I forgot what I chose, but I chose like not an entry level friendly class, I suppose. And I went back and chose a different class. But like my dodge roll was really slow because of my equipment burden and all this other stuff.
Oh, were you like doing like one of those big like two-handed weapons?
No, I just had the regular stuff. But because of like my armor, I guess I was still like equipped, like all this other stuff. And also I didn't have any magic at the time. So when I went and redid, I got the royal, and that allowed me to like, that was a little easier. But yeah, PS5's great. Games are good. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to Final Fantasy 16, whenever that comes.
All right, I think we've talked enough about our plans for what we've been playing. So I want to move on to our next segment, which is kind of our update / plans for the year. So, Dom, do you want to kick this off? Do you have anything that you want to announce, talk about, anything like that?
I have, yes. So I plan on this month, probably honestly by the end of this weekend, actually, having a review out for Sackboy, because I've been playing Sackboy, but I really want to talk about that game. And then right after that, I have like a one-off thing that I want to do, which is like a quick series I'm going to kick off, which is like a retro rewind series, like essentially just certain videos dedicated to older games, that will somewhat be in a review format, but more of just me like just generally kind of talking about them and this and the fourth. And then I'm going to start my Final Fantasy retrospective, and this is going to be in 2 parts. So the first part that I'm doing this year is going to be what I deem as like PS2 era and up. So this year is going to be Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, Final Fantasy 8, Final Fantasy 9, Final Fantasy 10, Final Fantasy... I'm not doing 10-2. I might, but as of right now, I'm not. Final Fantasy 12, Final Fantasy 13, I'm not doing the other two parts of Final Fantasy 13. I might, but depending on how things go. And then Final Fantasy 15. And then if 16's out by the end of this, then maybe 16. But that's the goal. I'm going to see how far I get with that, just because these games are... I planned on trying to do the entire series, but then I thought to myself, I'll break it up between, like, I would say the PlayStation era and up, and then the next part will be 1 through 6. So I think I can knock those out by the end of the year for sure. And then, like, still like our segments that we talked about of like new games like that are coming out that we can quickly do reviews on, stuff like that. But for the most part, the Final Fantasy retrospective is really what I want to like dig deep into. Will be like my main focus. Yeah. What about you?
So I'm gonna get like a little like behind the music here for you, or like a little navel gazy, depends how you want to view it. So like here's the thing, like the big thing with me is just like when you had brought this up, doing the podcast to me like years ago and all that stuff.
I think it was like 2018, yeah.
Yeah, like 2017, 2018 I think you started bringing up this idea, but like the whole reason I was kind of against it was because I didn't really feel like I had much to put out in a conversation, or like, so it's like what's gonna make me different or interesting from whatever anyone else has to put up. And I think I finally figured out what it is that I have to say that's interesting and different. Is I have the series that I want to do that I'm gonna call Into the Pit. So like one of the authors that I really used to enjoy had this whole he had this whole speech once about how books or stories aren't really there to help lift you out of a hard point in your life, but to jump down into the hole or the pit and be with you there in the moment. So like, as core gamers, games have been a part of my life for a while, and I think I have like a few interesting stories to tell, and how, in regards to some games and how they help me out in life, or how I relate to those games. So that's something like very aspirational, and it comes back to what I've said before, like why I enjoy podcasts like the Top 100 Video Games playlist, or the Top 100 Video Games podcast with Jared Petty. That's a long title. It's just like, because like you listen to those and you hear the people's stories and like very personal connection to a game. So I have a few stories that I would like to try and write and present, and the biggest one, like the one that like really created this idea, I'm hoping to have out in early March. But apart from that, it's just like I have a few video essays I want to write. I want to try and do something comedic in regards to certain mini game from Skyward Sword. That I want to try doing. It was a crazy thought I had back when I first played that game, and I think I haven't seen anyone else talk about it, so I feel like it'd be at least something fun to try. But and that's basically it. That's my plans right now. Is just like, and of course, as games come out, like throw out reviews for games I enjoy playing, or talk about games like that. And I'm hoping, very like lofty goal is like I would like to get two out, do two a month, but like this isn't my job or anything like that. So we're like, that's an aspirational goal. We'll see if we actually hit it. But so yeah, that's really where I'm at with everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Time wise, yeah, I'm gonna try to shoot at least one a month out. In terms of like the Final Fantasy, like the deep stuff, but like the hot takes on like new releases and stuff like that. I'll try to get those out.
Yeah,
a little further. I would say, like Dane's saying, main goal personally for me too is at least 2 a month.
Yeah, it's just like one something that's like a bit more of a passion project side thing, or like one of the deeper stuff, and then like at least one of like a game that we're playing or something that we're enjoying.
Yeah.
Something a bit more reviewish, I think, is what we're aiming for.
And then obviously, this you can still expect this for the most part every week. Mostly every week.
Like that's what we're like. Two, like our goal is 2 a month each, and then alternating.
This.
Oh, this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the podcast.
Yeah,
yeah, once a week. Because this is easy to do. This is just coming over and having a chat.
I should probably have said that. And also, you're probably... I haven't been uploading them to YouTube due to... so my PC is just crap. I mean, I don't know how to sugarcoat it. But so what Dane and I talked about recently was... so I know like most podcast people they're just listening to them anyway. And so obviously when I upload it to YouTube, I have to have like an hour lump sum of footage, which just for my iMac, it's just doesn't really work. So what I think I'm going to do is start uploading them to YouTube, but it's just going to be just a template.
Yeah, just
like our logo template, and like that's it. And for podcasts, I literally have never in my life like watched a podcast. Like I literally, just put it on. So yeah, I think it'll be all right.
I very occasionally do it, like, and even
Unless
then,
it's
like I'm not really.
Like I know what you mean, where it's like where they actually record it. Yeah, I have done that.
I mean, like, but that's like very once in a while for like, I mean, like the reason I listen to so many podcasts and why y'all hear me say like, oh, on this such and such a podcast, I work at a place for 40 hours a week where like maybe someone talks for me for like 5 minutes out of the day, so like. I have like basically 40 hours a week where I can just listen to podcasts. Like if no one's talking to me for 10, 11 hours of my day, because like I have a lunch break in there and all that, so like it really comes out to more like 11ish hours a day. So it's just like if no one's talking to me for like 11 hours a day, I get a little psychotic and I get like really in my head about stuff, and I just can't do that. It's akin to like psychological warfare to me, so I listen to a lot of podcasts or books or something. So like that's why I say like, oh, on this podcast or on this book or whatever. But that's all.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I would have to have some distraction, something.
Yeah, because that's why. So most of the time on podcasts I just listen to it, but like occasionally. If they say like, oh, we have something here in the studio, I'll go home later that evening and I'll pick up the YouTube video and I'll see what it is. But that's something I want to try. I don't think it needs to be a staple. And like, I tried streaming over the break as well, and that didn't work. Like my computer just didn't want to do it.
Streaming's actually pretty intense.
Because you gotta have like a good like upload speed.
I would never be able to stream. Like when I was doing those, like attempting to even those freaking like 30-minute videos were still like freaking like wearing this thing out. And I was playing Ghost and Sun on the virtual console. Like imagine trying to stream Demon Souls. Like, so yeah. I mean, if we could dive into that in the future, that's a later down the line thing.
What I would like to really do though is at least maybe at some point try recording this over a webcam, and seeing if we can at least do like a face cam, webcam, all thing, so that
would be cool.
So like it's not something like we can just record the footage with the audio, and
we also talked about possibly recording these remotely.
Yeah, because of the times we're in.
Yeah, if it boils down to that, and that way that actually work out really well if we did it remotely and had because you already have a webcam, so I would need to get a webcam.
I mean, you technically have a webcam. Whether you actually like the quality of your webcam is something. It's not bad.
When I saw your video, that's actually like I've really like I did not think it was gonna look that good, and it actually looks pretty good. So I was just like,
that was another thing. I'm super excited about like my lights in the background.
Yeah, and even like the quality of the webcam, and so I was just like, you know what, maybe I will move to, but I have to like. If I do, I probably move that there and that there and that. Have like that would actually not be bad.
Yeah, I mean, like I kind of like my background just because I have that giant like poster thing.
Yeah, and
it's not actually a poster; it's like a piece of wood that's been painted. But
still pretty cool.
But like that makes up for a pretty decent background. But yeah, so do we have anything else we want to say? I mean,
I think that was about it, right? The
Yeah.
main thing biggest thing was the update, I suppose.
yeah, I don't think I have other things I could say, but I feel like that's just adding stuff on. It's nothing I think that's too pertinent.
Yeah, I
to
mean,
this
I could
podcast.
totally.
We can just keep talking.
Yeah,
Hey, listener, do you want to keep talking?
But yeah, in terms of core updates, I mean, a time thing. Well, like Dane said, we obviously have full-time jobs, so as much as we'd like to not do that, we kind of have to, So I would, we will, because I know with YouTube, commitment is a huge thing, and that's how you grow an audience. Like, where's the consistency? So that's a big, and obviously, how do you? So we'll, I would say we'll definitely get it out, but there will be a week where maybe he works overtime, a week where I work and just things.
Yeah, that's the main reason I wasn't up. I didn't really put anything out on the channel during December. It's just I think the last thing I did was a very quick, hot off the cuff, impressions of Zelda: Age of Calamity, and that was in November. But I worked for 5 weeks at 55 hours each week, and
paychecks were probably good though.
yeah, it was a good paycheck, but I only really I've only really felt the 2 days that I had off each week were my only time, and I was doing other things, it was the holiday season and everything. So.
I forgot about one thing that I literally I thought of this over the break, but one thing that I will kick off in February, so next month, is and I'm gonna just say what people call it because I know a bunch of other people do it, months of. Month of Zelda, month of...
Oh, I'd love to do
So
Zelda.
I'm doing a month of Pokemon, and so obviously the reason I chose February is because
it's the anniversary of Pokemon, right?
26th of February, I believe. So I'm going to do that, and the idea for that is I've actually already started working on it, so some are already done.
Oh, sweet.
Because one's done because I have to obviously I plan to release one each week, so I already started working on it and I already have one done, and so it's not it's literally the idea behind it is just anything related to that each week. It's not a retrospective of the series. It's just I could one is on the card game, the video game card game. Another's on one of the spin-offs, Pokemon Ranger. Another one is on Pokemania, which is just me kind of going over the inception and where it is, how it got there, everything throughout. Because what I find fascinating about that is if you didn't know, when Pokemon came to the States, they literally released a 3-minute infomercial just saying hey, this thing is coming, you'll like it. It was that.
Really? The anime didn't come first? Or?
No, there was this infomercial, and it was with Kids WB, and they were they had the promotional bus too, they always do those freaking whatever it is, those buses that are driving around cities, and it was literally a 3-minute commercial breaking down the anime, the card game, and the toys, and the video games, and this was before it was actually in the States.
Wow, I don't remember that. It's just because for me, it's just I don't really remember what it was that came first for me.
I don't either.
I just remember there was the anime, there was the game. I remember when I got the game.
And think
but,
about
I don't,
it though.
And the card game is all just it all just came out of nowhere like a wave.
Seriously, and that's pretty much what the infomercial says. It's this thing's coming, you'll like it, cool. And I was what? I don't even know about this. And I thought about it, I'm wait, that's what happened. This thing just came, and I was okay, I like it, and I ran with it. So that, and the those are the I said one a week, but those are the three I want to tackle. If I do all of those, then the last one is going to be on, I don't know how, the last one might fluctuate between Pokemon Yellow, or if I don't do that, I'm going to go over Mystery Dungeon, the original Red Rescue Team and DX. But yeah, I forgot about that. So that'll be in February.
Yeah, this year's supposed to be 35th anniversary of Zelda. What?
Oh, the 25th of Pokemon, 35th of... 25th of Pokemon and 35th of what?
So
let's stop.
I am hoping for some new Zelda games or ports, at least this year, being we were talking about it earlier. It's just like I
Just go on Reddit. You'll already see stuff.
Yeah, it's just like I wish like we just get like it would be easier to record some of the Zelda games without having to like buy another system and all that.
And it's not even like these are like it's freaking Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. Like I'm pretty sure if they wanted to do it, it could be done in like a month.
Or like if they could want to port over like Majora's Mask and like Ocarina of Time.
Here's the thing,
like
though.
just like virtual console this stuff. Like come on, it's just like
those games are probably already done. Like 'cause you know how Nintendo is. They like as of lately.
Like here's the
they've
thing.
been
Like they're
really-
holding they've been like holding their cards so close to their chest since the pandemic started. And it's just like I think we maybe had a month or two of lead up before we got Age of Calamity versus when it was announced. So
All Stars 2 weeks before, Paper Mario like a month before.
So it's just like I imagine we're gonna continue seeing that sort of strategy from Nintendo this year as well. So we're gonna get a slow rollout, but when they announce something, it's gonna be like right around the corner.
Yeah, and that's pretty much that is definitely gonna be Dane's department if they do, because I know
I'll be on that.
I like Zelda, but I mean, yeah, that's just way better for him to handle it, because yeah, you'll find out. All right,
I think that's gonna cover it for us. All right, but please like, subscribe, leave a review, anything of that nature. All right, cool. Thank you so much for listening.